Hello and welcome back to How to Game Differently. Today I've got a very special guest with me. I've got Garry Chalk, who is an incredible voice actor and on-screen actor as well. He does both, which we'll have a bit of a discussion about. But you may know him from Beast Wars, as well as being in various Transformers series as well. Stargate, Sonic Underground, so many things, so many different shows. Garry, where did this whole passion for acting come from?
Well, let's see. My passion for acting, well, it started when I was a child. I mean, I always wanted to perform. I started out as a singer because I loved to sing. And I got my very first thing, I was like 8. And I think I did a play called The Shoemaker and the Elves. And I played the shoemaker. And it was a class project, but it was so cool because all the kids were watching, and I'm going, I like this. This is fun. I love performing. And then I was singing in a choir, and then we got put on television at it was called Ron Morier's Saturday Kids Party. It was a kids show, and I sang, and ever since then, I've always had the bug. But the thing is I never really looked at it as something to do for a living because I had many other jobs before I became an actor. Yeah. I just looked at it as something that was fun. And then one day I was doing something while I was in school, and I went back to university to be a teacher, but I ended up going into theater instead. And I got paid for a gig, and I went, whoa, I get paid for this. Holy moly, I'm gonna pursue this. And that's what I did. And I started working as a professional actor probably about a month before I finished school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, that's incredible.
I've been working 44 years now.
Yeah. So big celebration. You turned 17 not too long ago. There's a beautiful video that will be a card up above and also linked down in the description of just people just saying how much they've enjoyed all the work you've done, all the years. We were having a little bit of a chat about this before recording and such, but so many lovely messages from so many different people.
I know, it was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. And for any of you listening out there who sent things in, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It just moved me so much. Thank you so much. That's all
Definitely.
I can say.
Definitely.
It was quite the milestone.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. And one of the key things I saw, and it was the kind of same message I put in, so I was on that as well. But you were the voice of Optimus Primal from Beast Wars, and I was saying this to you before. I grew up on Beast Wars as a child. It was such an impactful series to me growing up. I had the toys, or watched all the episodes and everything, and one of the things I always found so entertaining was Optimus Primal because of his voice. So every line that you delivered in that, it was so striking, and it was serious and playful at the same time. Now, where did that kind of like character come from? Like, was it that they kind of directed you into playing as that role, or was this like you playing off experience or anything like that?
Well, it's a combination of two things. I mean, I remember in the initial episode when they were casting, because they originally were going to cast me as Megatron.
Oh, okay.
And David Kaye was going to play Optimus Primal, but then they switched it, and David Kaye was so great with that. Yes. You know, and he had this very wonderful strident voice, side guns, and all this. And I went, oh yeah, that's the guy. He's going to be Megatron, the big guy. And what I did is I took Optimus Primal, and because he was a warm-blooded mammal, and basically a father figure to all these other characters, to these younger characters, I thought, well, I'll just make him human. And I warmed him up a little bit. I warmed him up and subjected him to the same weaknesses or the same foibles that humans have. And when you recognize those things and own them, then you become more compassionate. You become more, more understanding and tolerant with people. It's not just black and white. There are all different gradations. There's no black and white. There's a whole what's the word? A whole palette of color. And that's why you look at some scenes, and some of the scenes, it was like, when I talk to Rat Trap, he's just an irascible child. When I talk to Cheetor, he's like that poor lost kid who's so eager and so keen and has so many questions and so many doubts. And it's just like trying to be like a dad to that character, and being understanding of all the our villains, who eventually became not villains, well, like Dinobot, and it was good that way, and I felt that he didn't have to be a machine. He didn't have to have a treated voice. He just had to be real. And that's what I brought to the character. I just made him a real person, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, he was very relatable, and like you say, he was a great father figure. Like the conversations with Rhinox as well, with like kind of like getting information from him, like, did I do that right? Did I tackle that situation correctly, and all that type of stuff. And yeah, like you say, very human, very human. It was great to see. Now, something you actually mentioned, which I thought was quite cool, because I didn't actually know this until recently. Now, you say you were originally going to be Megatron.
Yes.
But you did get a chance to be Megatron in that series as well, being Generation 1 Megatron, which I never knew, purely on the basis because your voice was so different from Optimus Prime to Megatron.
Yeah.
I thought that was incredible. So, like, something up, because I'm trying to like get myself into a bit of voice acting just for fun, because and I always find it incredibly interesting about how someone can change the voice so drastically. Now,
well, just imagine this. This. You have in your head right now about 12 different voices that you're not even aware that you have.
Okay.
And the trick is, and I've done this so many times and demonstrated this so many times. It's like this. It's all about resonators, where you put the voice in your body. Okay. So if you take a voice and you don't change your voice at all, but it goes from the top of your head, put it from the top of your head into your eyes, take it out of your eyes and into your nose, then you take it from your nose into the front of your mouth. And then you take it from the front of your mouth into the middle of your mouth, into the back of your throat, and down into your chest. You don't actually change your tone at all. You just put it in a different place, right? Now you can add a bit of gravel to that. So you can have gravel here, gravel at the top of your throat, middle of your mouth, the front of your teeth, into your nose, your eyes, and the top of your head. Now add to that some jaw placement. You can change your jaw and change the voice that way. You can be off breath. You can the way you phrase something. All right, you can add some kind of an impediment and age, of course. You can do all those things and making a. Let me see. You can do well, like in Sonic. I'm not stupid. I just left my head for a moment. There's that character, and then I hate that hedgehog. What a brute! Oh, I can't stand him. And then you can play with it. Then you add accents. Oh my God, there's tons of voices you can do. And the way I would approach a voice in this, and I always go back to Sue Blue, who to my mind was a master director and just a wonderful woman. And I always go back to her references, and she would say, look at the physical aspect of this character. Are they fat, thin, tall, short, reedy, mean? Look at their emotional appearance. Look at their intellectual. Are they stupid? Are they smart? Are they clever? Are they sly? Those kinds of things. Then you say, how does that character laugh?
Okay.
And a lot of times when you figure out how the character laughs, you figure out the character. Because, and believe it or not, it's really difficult for some people to laugh on cue. Right. And there was a woman I worked with, Kathleen, who, when we first started working together, she had just started doing cartoons and she had never done cartoons before. And she could not laugh on cue. She'd try and go, just go like this. And she'd go, no. Just, I said, no, it's just, let's catch it. Now speed it up. And now she does all the laughs. You know, you can have the the secret laugh, the titter, the all out bray, you know, the little chuckles, there's all those different things. And once you find out how that character laughs, you can find that character.
Wow. I never knew that. Like, because like I've done no acting whatsoever, so this is all like new to me. So that's definitely not something I would have thought was a key aspect for character. No, that's incredible.
Yeah, that's one, because from there you can sort of get a sort of insight into what kind of an entity are they. Because here's the thing. Character voices, cartoons are fantastical characters. They're in a fantastical world. Yeah. But to them, they are real, and the world they live in is real. So the feelings that they have, the fear, the love, the this, the that, the blah, 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 they're all real to that character in a fantastical world. And the reason why you care about that character is because they are being relatable and real to you, even though they're in this fantastic world. It's like, I always liken adorable character like the sloth in Ice Age. You know, Ice Age. John Leguizamo, he plays the sloth. You go, yeah, come on. You know, I mean, those are that's a brilliant character. He's so lovable and so sweet and such a goofball. But it's so real. He's like, well, can I just? Yeah. And you're going, oh, you come here, you little beast. But that's what endears characters to you. If you lie to your audience, they will watch, but in their subconscious, they're going, you're lying. I don't believe
you're not really them.
You're not really them. You don't believe you. You know, and that's a horrible feeling, because if they don't care about you, then they don't watch you. So you've got to have a character's you've got to have a character you care about. You care about even the villains. You got to care about enough to hate them.
Yes, yeah, and you have played some fantastic villains over the years, and you kind of brought one up earlier about being in the Sonic series. Yes. You were Dr. Robotnik.
Dr. Robotnik. Villains never think that they're villains.
No, exactly. Yeah.
I always think they're good guys. They're being set upon by bad guys who may be good guys, but they're bad guys to them. But no villain thinks I am evil. I'm going to destroy the world because I love it. No, because that's what I have to do. I'm misunderstood.
So from the aspects of like being a villain, and like you say, it's because they think of themselves as the hero and all that kind of stuff. Do you prefer playing as a villain or as a hero?
Well, the one good thing about villains is they have the best lines.
Yeah.
The good guys are all going, no, don't do that. You're bad. Oh, shut up. Rat trap, stop it. No, we're not going to do that. You know, it's just the good guys have the boring lines. And it's like they always do the right thing. It's the villains that are going,
yeah, it's all the unpredictable stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, they do all the fun stuff. So that's what I like. And I've played villains in film and television. I just played one recently, and it was great because I was doing something that was great for me, but not so great for everybody else, right? But I didn't see it that way. I just said, no, man, this is good. I'm liking this, you know. And I did that on a show called Arrow and another one called Tribal. And yeah, I've had a few bad guy roles that have been a lot of fun. And the trick to playing a bad guy is never play him as a bad guy. Play him as a good guy.
Yeah, definitely. And what I was quite interested in seeing is, so obviously you said you were an Arrow, you were a Lieutenant General J.G. Walker, but you've been a general or lieutenant or a police officer and all these like kind of military characters in film and TV. Is that just like a very comfortable role for you to go in, or is that like, again, something from past experience or anything?
Well, I have the misfortune of looking like every cop, every general these guys have ever seen.
Right.
You know, and I love playing them. They're great. I play a lot of the characters I play have gravitas, and they're very authoritative and confident and whatnot. That they are the boss, and I've been the boss a few times in real life, you know, and that's okay. But I unfortunately look like these guys, and I remember one time going into a casting session, and I said, "Look, I play this character all the time. I can play it in my sleep. Haven't you got a doctor or a teacher, psychologist, you know, young lover, something else?" And the producer looked at me and he goes, "No. You look like every cop I ever knew. So there you go. You're the cop," which stood me a good stead. That made me a good career.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I'm doing a movie right now where I'm not playing a bad guy. I'm actually playing a spiritual guide.
Oh,
which is lots and lots of fun. I'm in purgatory, you know, helping people out. And it's very weird. You'll see it when you see it comes out. It's going to be a great.
Oh, that's very interesting.
And I've played some different characters. You know, in Hallmark, I do a lot of widowed husbands, grandfathers. I do a lot of grandfathers these days. I used to play a lot of cops. I did play a chief, the head of the Justice Department for the series I just shot a couple of years, where I played the head of the department, and I was sort of a villain, but not a villain. I was just, you know, by the book kind of stern guy, and they liked that, you know. So, and my series, The Killing, there was another one like that.
Yeah.
They wanted me to be nice, but the director, who was Patty Jenkins, who won Academy Award for Monster, was it Monster? The serial killer.
Look that one up.
Yeah, Patty Jenkins won an Oscar. She was an amazing director, but she told me to, you know, she loved the way that I initially did the character, because my instinct told me that he was like this.
Yeah.
But the producers of the show said, no, make him nicer. And we're gonna look around, because we want someone who's going to be a bit nicer. And I said, well, that's just an acting note. Come on. And my agent, bless him, called up the casting agent and said, I want you to see him again. It's an acting note, and if you tell him to be nicer, he'll be nicer. So I went back on the Friday morning, and I gave him the nice version of this character, and I got hired, and I started work on Monday.
Oh, wow.
On the series. I was on the series for a year and a half. But my first day, Patty Jenkins, the director, came up to me and she goes, whatever they asked you, do it my way. And I went, what? Do it my way. And so I looked at her, and I looked at the producers, and they were all sitting there, and they're like, they're from the States and from Denmark and that, and I'm going, I'm fucked. So I did it her way, but what I did is I tempered the niceness with a no nonsense.
Right.
So I didn't suffer fools, but I wasn't mean. I was never mean, but I was always stern.
Yeah, very direct in that.
And it sort of filled the boat, or it filled the bill for her and for them. And if you ever watch the show, it's on Netflix, called The Killing.
Yeah.
You'll see what I'm talking about. But oh yeah. But I played different. I love comedy, and I never get to play enough comedy, but I've done a few comedies. I did one with a boy band called Big Time Rush.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Big Time Movie. And I played the head of MI5 or MI6.
Yeah.
And I said, seriously, telling me you're not taking over the world, actually. It's still just your music.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, sorry. He was quite the character.
So something I was interested to hear from you is like, what do you prefer, being on the screen acting or doing voices for characters?
Well, it's to tell you the truth, it's there are good points and bad points to both.
Okay.
And I love them for different reasons. One, I love voice acting because basically it's the purest form of acting. You've got to fill in everything. You've got to fill in your geographical, your emotional and intellectual. Everything has to be right there. You can't fake it, because they draw around your voice. So you got to fill in all the gaps, right? So from that aspect, it's very satisfying. The downside is, especially today, is that you don't get to record with anybody. Well, that's what's been happening the last couple of years. You're by yourself in the studio, and that's no fun. I like to interact with live actors, and which I do most of the time. But my last series I did, I'm basically by myself in the studio, and sort of thinking ahead of putting the movie in my head, and how would they respond to this voice, or how would they respond to this line?
Yeah.
And so I do it 3 different ways, hoping that the one that I use is the one that they respond to or react to, or I react to their line, because I'm sort of making it up in my head. But apparently it worked out very, very well. So it's coming out soon, and that's going to be one hell of a show. I love the organic aspect of acting on stage, on set with other actors. I love it. I just love to be there, and I feed off the energy, because it's not so much about acting; it's about reacting. How do you react?
Yeah.
To what's around you, and the environment is another character with it that affects your performance, right?
Yeah.
So you just and for that, I love the technical aspect of filmmaking. I love the organized chaos, as I like to say, because it looks chaotic, but everybody has a job and everybody does it. When it works, it goes, it's heaven, just like a machine. Like Stargate was a machine. I mean, we just bang, 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 just going up. But you really had to be on your game, because you couldn't be, you couldn't be a diva or couldn't forget your lines. You had to be on your game to do that show. And there's a few shows like that. Gold Squad was another one where you had to be there and bring your A game, as they say. And,
definitely.
That was great. And so I love the technical aspect of filmmaking, how it all comes together, and I love and when you know everybody's job, and I know everybody's job now, and what they do and why they do it and how they do it. And it all makes it so much more fascinating. Mind you, when you're watching movies, all you're thinking is, close up, medium. Wonder where they shot, why'd they shoot it that way? It's like you're breaking down the movie as you're watching it from the technical side.
Yeah. That's cool. So with all the different roles and all of that, was there any characters that you wish you could play? So was there like any sort of, for both sides, being on screen and voice acting, was there any characters you wish you could play?
Well, yes, I wish I could have played Megatron. I love playing Megatron. He was great. I love that series. I would have loved to have played General Hammond on Stargate, but I got the Russian instead. Basically, everything that I've done, there's no real character that really stands out. I'm very appreciative and happy with all the work that I have done. I mean, I'll tell you one. There's one. Have you seen this series called Mr. Mercedes?
No, I haven't. No.
With what's his Liam Gleason? Is it? No, not Liam Neeson. Brendan Gleeson.
No, Irish I haven't. No, I have to look this up.
Oh, Christ, it's good. The Stephen King series.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Mr. Mercedes. And when I read the book, I went, "Oh my God, this is me. This is my character. I wish I could. This is a character I could get my teeth into. I just love this character." And it went to Brendan Gleeson. And I realized I didn't have a look in, but still, it was that was a character I would have loved to have played.
Definitely, that would have been there. I'll have to look it up. Sounds like quite a good series.
Yeah, amazing.
So what I was interested in was the fact that obviously both you and David Kay kind of continued on being Optimus. Well, you went to Optimus Prime. He continued being Megatron in Armada, Cybertron and Energon for the Transformers series. How did that conversation come about? Was it very much that the studios just saw you as those characters because of Beast Wars?
No, what they wanted was they wanted me to be Peter Cullen.
Oh, okay.
The robot voice, and I said, I'm not doing the robot voice. I created this voice.
Yeah.
And so I came up with a compromise. I don't have Peter Cullen's voice, but I could do that robotic kind of, voice that they wanted because it's treated anyway. So I could do that, but I gave them my own voice, but I just made him a little less human, a little more truck, not monkey, and and it worked out well. People liked it, I guess. I mean, I've never been a huge fan of ADR because you don't. Basically, what you're doing is playing a puzzle. You're fitting words into slots, and hopefully they work, and hopefully they fit, and hopefully the story makes sense.
Yeah,
so I've done a bit of ADR in my life, but
yeah. Now, it must have been quite challenging because not too long ago I interviewed David Kay, and he's obviously done quite a lot of dubbing for like anime and also obviously Armada and stuff. So it's like the lip flaps is the difficult bit, isn't it? Trying to catch all those.
Trying to match something. Oh, you like strawberry jam? Well, I like strawberry jam as well. And so, what do you do? I did a Japanese soap opera. I dubbed a Japanese soap opera forever.
Wow. Okay.
Many episodes, and when in Japan, everything is and you're trying to. So, what are we having for dinner? Are we having cheese? Are we having tomatoes? Are we having beef? It's like you've got to fill those flaps.
Yeah.
And it can be very challenging.
I can imagine.
To make it fit, but we managed. And now with the new technology, they can make anything work.
Yeah,
they make any lip flaps work. But I still do it occasionally. I like to do. I mean, the last anime that I did was a show called Eon Kid or Iron Kid.
Oh yes.
It Korean cartoon.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yeah,
and I played the villain in that.
Ah, okay.
And that was a lot of fun. Actually, it was a kind of a fun show to do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just everything has its attractions and its detractions. I never did a lot of dubbing here because we never. I mean, I've done lots of dubbing, but I've never done a lot of anime here because we don't do a lot of anime here.
Yeah.
You know, most of it's down in Texas or down in Los Angeles or somewhere, or Toronto. But what's that place called Funimation and
yes,
all those?
Yeah,
they do all the anime, but they're a non-union deal, so they don't get paid great money.
Yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah. So there's a big deterrent for a lot of like big voice actors like yourself to like go down that route.
Well, we get paid better up here because we have a union rate, but it can be a lot of work and it can be fun, I guess. But I've just been so busy doing other things because I work in film and television as well.
Yeah.
So I just really crazy busy with that. I just finished my series a couple of months ago of Tribal.
Yeah.
And then just before, literally 2 months before that, I finished a series called Day of the Dead.
Yes. Yeah.
Which was fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's quite. I've only just started the series because I was a big fan of the films that came before it and stuff. Very true to form, fantastic. And one of the other characters you've done is from Freddy Vs Jason as being Sheriff Williams. Yeah, which is another like amazing film. Do you quite like the horror aspect? It's
fun. Series? It's always gory. I had a great time. I love the director, Ronnie Yu. He was just so much fun.
Yeah.
You go down there, you are scared, but not so scared. I just loved him. He was just terrific. But yeah, I had fun on that. My friend Kenny played Jason.
Oh yes.
And I met what's his face who plays Freddy, and he was great. Yes. But my best memory of that show was, I killed Freddy. That was a good one. Yeah. But somebody made a music video mashup of different movies from a song called "I'm Gonna Funk You Up" or something. Do 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 do. And well, I'm in that movie for like a split second. You'll see me going, "I'm gonna funk you up." To Lachlan Monroe, who I'm working with starting on Monday again. He's starting on. So, but yeah. So, but the thing about that was my friend's daughter was having her 13th birthday party. It was her 13th birthday, and she was a huge fan of that band. Anyway.
Yes, I know you're carry on. Yeah.
She's in the movie Freddy Vs. Jason.
Yes.
And she comes out of the burning cabin with blood all over her, and my friend's daughter was a huge fan. So we decided to spring a surprise on her. And so her mother put together her photographs and stuff of all her fan stuff in a bag and gave it to me, and I stuck it in the back of my car. And I made arrangements with the studio because we were shooting over at Lionsgate Studios. Made arrangements with the studio and the publicity if I could bring her over to meet Kelly. And they said, "Sure, come on by." So I told her that we're just going over to the studio so we can see Freddy and Jason and see how they make these movies. It's a pretty exciting day today because they're burning down the cabin. And she goes, "Oh, okay." So she gets in the car. We drive there. And we're sitting there, and she's playing with the, breakaway glass, and she meets Jason, who's, with the mask, and it's all very scary, and meets Freddy, and that's fine. And so we're sitting there in the chairs watching the flaming set, and out comes Kelly, covered in blood. And she comes walking toward us. And I said, "Hey, Kelly." And she goes, "Oh, hi. This is my friend here. It's her birthday today, and she just wanted to come and say hi." And the little girl goes like this. And I went, "So, are you going to say hi?" And just, "Hi." And she said, "So she just wanted to come and say if we could have a chat." And she says, "Sure, come on, honey." And she drags her into the makeup trailer, and they fix her up, and they chatted there for an hour.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God. So I got Kelly to sign all her stuff and everything. And wished her a happy birthday. She talked about that day for a year. She could not get over that day. She was just completely, absolutely blown away. So it always has been a great memory, and in my head was of that movie was that particular day. But I really enjoyed working on that film. Great people. And here's a little trivia.
Yeah.
A little trivia. The street where we shot the house, the Elm Street house, was actually on Elm Street.
Yeah. Did they not do that for one of the later ones as well?
Huh?
Like, I think one of the later, there was a reboot of Elm Street. And I think they used the same house.
Yeah, the same house.
Yeah. Oh, it is quite funny how they make sure these things happen. Like for you, you say, for that little bit of trivia and stuff. For those watching, it was Destiny's Child. It had a complete.
No, that's what it was.
Yeah, one of the biggest girl bands ever. But anyway, complete mind blank of that.
Well, me, I'm an old guy. I just, I forget these things. But that's who it was, Destiny's Child. I was thinking Salt and Pepper or something, but I said, no, it was Destiny's Child. Yeah. Oh, she was just blown away.
Obviously, you're saying how busy you are. And one of the things that I know you do a lot of are conventions. Now, I always like hearing these stories. What's been some of your favorite moments with meeting the fans at conventions? Like any particular stories or anything?
Yeah. My very first convention, I think it was my second convention, I met the gal who handles all my fan stuff, Candace Antoine, who's a tremendous artist in her own right. And I met her and her mother and her brother and her other sister in a convention in North Carolina. And I was just completely taken by this family. They were just so great. And over the years, we just developed this really wonderful friendship. And what happened is Candace would start sending me artwork or doing art, and I would promote her art, and then she would promote me on internet. She goes, "Well, why don't I come and be your assistant?" And I said, "That's a great idea, and then we can showcase your art as well." And that's what we did. And she became my assistant. And then she ran my fan page and keeps everybody apprised of where I'm going to be and what I'm doing and putting up clips and whatnot. It's been an invaluable resource to me. So that was one of the memorable things. Another one was a time that I had a fellow come up to me, and I was walking down the aisle, and he just went, "Are you Garry Chalk?" And I said, "Yes." And he burst into tears, and I said, "What the hell? What's wrong?" It says, "This is so exciting. This is so exciting." I said, "What are you talking about? Why are you excited?" He says, "Because I get to meet you in person. You changed my life. You did this. You made my life so wonderful." And I went, Well, hell, okay. Thank you very much. Anyway, that was quite memorable. But I think the most memorable time I ever had was I had never been to a convention before, and I went to this convention in California, Van Nuys. I think it was Van Nuys or Thousand Oaks, one of those, by Disneyland.
Yep.
And I had never been. I had no idea what to expect. And I went there, and I was talking to the organizer of the event. I think it was Transformers TFCon or one of those things.
Yeah.
And says, "Oh yeah, no, you come on in." We've got a crowd, and there was I went down there with a few of our gang, a few of the cast. I think Venus was there, and Doug Parker, and Scott McNeil, and who else was there? I think that was it. That was us four. And he said, "Yeah, well, we're just gonna get together. We're gonna go into the auditorium and introduce you, and have a little panel and talk and whatnot." No, okay. So he brings me to the door, and there's a bunch of girls sitting at a table by the door.
Yeah.
And he went over to them and said, "Oh, hi, girl. This is Garry Chalk. This is Optimus Primal." And I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Galaxy Quest?
Yes. Yeah.
Tim Allen walks into the convention, all the girls go "Ee-hee!" like that. They did that. They all went "Ee-hee!" and I went, okay. Well, that's wonderful. Nice to meet you. Hello. Hi. And so we went up on the stage. And he came out and he introduced him. But ladies and gentlemen, this is the cast of Beast Wars. Well, there were like 1,000 people in that room, and they all went insane.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And up and down and bouncing and laughing and cheering away. And I'm going, "What the hell is this?" I still didn't. I couldn't get over it. And I had no idea what I was doing. I we talked about the show, and then there was a guy who we had looked at some scripts, some fan fiction.
Yeah.
And we picked this one guy's fan fiction. It was pretty good. Well, he was just so overwhelmed. He was over the moon. He was just going crazy. They're going to read my script. They're going to read my script. I can't believe it. And I just went, this is kind of surreal. But at the next one I went to in North Carolina, they were lined up around the block.
Yeah.
We sat all day and talked to people, signed autographs, did panels, and it's really quite something. You really don't get how much of an effect you have on people's lives. And some people whose lives have been affected in a positive way.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
From sharing time with you, basically sharing time with you on Saturday morning or wherever it is, and I was quite taken. And those are some of the memorable moments. I had a stalker once.
Oh, wow!
Bit mad. Can I just ask one more question? And he caught me on the street. Can I just ask one more question? I just want to ask you. And I'm going, okay. So he answered it. Well, can I just ask one more question? And I went, this is an OCD, and this is not going to stop. So I've got to run. So I'd run away.
But that comes with fame, does, isn't it?
It does. It's a crazy thing. Yeah. One thing I found that was interesting is that I did a convention in England, and I did one in Australia. I did one in Czech Republic, and I did one in Texas. And you know what? The fans are all the same.
Yeah. They
have this common passion, and they're just great. Even with the translator, I had a translator in Czechoslovakia, to talk to some of the fans and ask the questions and interview. It was lovely. but they all of a similar ilk, and I really liked them. I've become good close friends with lots of them. You know, some in Australia, some here, some in England and Scotland and Ireland. But some of those are also Stargate fans. So.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's, I don't know. It's been a good life. I'm enjoying myself.
So firstly, thank you so much, Garry, for spending the time letting me, pick your brains at a few characters and stuff. It's been such a pleasure for me because, like I say, grew up with series. Just you brought so much to Optimus Primal, and I was a big fan of Armada. I know it was quite a different series and stuff, but again, it was fantastic having you as Optimus Prime, and just seeing you pop up and now and again with all sorts of different series as well. It's been a joy, an absolute joy.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I hope I'll continue on until I drop dead. But right now, I'm still going strong, still doing movies and still doing my thing. And I'm quite happy with that, and I'm just happy that I'm still in demand for things. But wait till you see the new series. The new cartoon series is really funny. And I'll give you one line from it.
I'll go for it.
Ready? It goes, all right, children. What is the most fearsome monster? Who is the most fearsome monster of all? Is that or no? What kind of monster? And they go, I don't know. The dangerous kind. That's my line. And that's because we are monster hunters.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, it's really funny.
Oh, I have to keep my eye out for this one. Definitely. You've piqued my interest.
Well, that's all I can say. I'm not giving away anything, but it's going to be very, very funny.
Brilliant.
And the director is a real joy. He directed a show called, well, for kids anyway, Gigantosaurus.
Oh, I've heard of this.
About the little kid dinosaurs.
Yes, yeah.
The great big T-Rex, Gigantosaurus. He's always going, and the kids are always going, oh. But he never does anything. He's just there, just being like that old grumpy guy in the house 2 doors down. He's that guy.
Yeah.
No,
definitely. One last request, because I have a few friends of mine who are Beast Wars fans, and there's obviously one particular line that everyone loves from the character of, well, that's just Prime. Can we hear it from yourself?
Everyone out there, I've had a wonderful time this afternoon. I had a great conversation here, and it's been a lot of fun. And all I can say is, well, that's just Prime.
That brings me shivers all through the body. No, thank you so much, Garry. I hope you all enjoyed this amazing interview. I had so much fun speaking to you, Garry. Do check the card above to, like I say, the fantastic video of Garry's 70th birthday messages from so many different fans. Also check the link in the description. I did the interview with David Kay, who was the voice of Megatron for Beast Wars, which was again an absolute delight. I've got both of you. I've done both of you. And also click, I hope you look to subscribe to How to Game Differently and click on that notification bell to let YouTube alert you that there's a brand new episode from How to Game Differently. And we will speak to you soon. Goodbye. Go for it.
Before I forget, for any of you who live in the UK, I will be in Birmingham August the 14th or 15th. August 14th or 15th. I'll be in Birmingham at I think it's the Hyatt Hotel, or no, the Hilton Hotel. I'm not sure. At the convention, the Transformers convention in Birmingham in August.
Right, well, I need to get myself a ticket now. Just to say hello in person.
All right, man.
No, thank you so much, Garry, and we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. See you.